Okay, I keep saying I was going to do this, and I'm finally about to do the Ravemon deck profile. Wild and free like a bird. Okay, so here I am at the dining room table with my trusty Falcomon memory marker. He's so adorable. I love him. I'm just going to chill here in the corner while I do the deck profile. This is my first deck profile ever, actually, and because I've never been motivated to do one until now, because Ravemon is my soul deck for any trading card game, especially Digimon. So, here we go. So the eggs, the Digi-Egg deck. We've got 4 copies, of course, of Pinamon, who gives you 1 memory on deletion. When you delete when you delete the Digimon it's under by an effect or outside of battle, I should say. So by an effect or just like I believe by DP deletion. Yeah, DP reduction. Yeah, so very useful for this deck. It was handmade for the deck, so that's why it's there. And then I do have a 5th egg, and it's Demi-Marimon, because Demi-Marimon for purple is pretty much the best egg, generally, for purple. And on deletion anytime, you draw 1, trash 1. It helps get Ravemon in the trash for Chromon to Digivolve into when you need to do that. So yeah, pretty solid Digi-Egg deck lineup. Also, this is the Holo Demi-Marimon from the reprint set. I am very glad to have it. Yeah, it's nice to have a holo for the 1-of egg. Then the rookies, and spoilers, here he is. 4 copies of Falcomon. Whoops, spoilers, wait, that's not it. Yeah, so there's 4 copies of Falcomon, 2 of them are the alt art here. And I love the alt art, because it's him being a ninja with a little shuriken. But, yeah, Falcomon is the most important rookie in the deck. Let me just center this, because it's your on-play searcher. Every good deck has one. So for 3 costs, you on-play it, or you can Digivolve it on top of the egg, whatever you want to do. One of the best opening turns you can have in the deck. But it searches you out the top 3 cards of your deck, and you can add to your hand either a bird or avian, or a Ravemon, and a Keenan Crier Tamer. So ideally you get 2 cards out of it, your Tamer and another Digimon. Yeah, so, and then of course the inheritable is on deletion, which the whole Digivolution line has is on deletion inheritables outside of battle. Trash 1 card in your hand. So that's kind of the standard, hand trashing, hand destruction is the name of the game for this deck. This is pretty much the only deck in Digimon that really uses that as a main mechanic, and I love it. I think it's great. I'm in like Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff like that. I was never that big on like hand destruction decks, but in Digimon I really like it. Mainly because I like how the deck plays around with it. So yeah, yeah, Falcomon, the main mon, the main rookie partner. Anyway, let's move on. I only have 12 minutes in my camera, so I have to get through this pretty fast. So the other rookies, I'm on actually 4 copies of Gabumon, and this too is the holo version, the holo upgrade from the reboot booster. So this is simply on deletion, inheritable, trash or draw 2 cards from your deck and trash 1 card from your hand. So again, like Demi-Marimon, it helps you get those Ravemons and trash for those plays. And I'm on this because the draw 2 is a big deal, like that extra card. I've been debating, now that the Metal Garurumon Ace deck is out, putting the new Gabumon in there, because it's like during your main phase, if your opponent has a Digimon on the field, you gain a memory. So if you just push out the rookie, you gain a memory. Plus it makes up for the lack of me putting Tsukaimon in this deck, because that was like another memory gainer. But I decided that Gabumon was a lot more important. And I don't use any other rookie. I use one other rookie, I should say, and it's the Palette Swap Gabumon, Psychmon itself. So there's a lot of good rookies you can play in Ravemon decks, like Ignitemon to destroy Ravemon, destroy another Digimon, etc. But I'm going with, consistency, efficiency. Wow, that's really off-center. There you go. So Psychmon. My locals is full of like Crossheart and Royal Knights and things like that right now for the BT13 format. So not being able to reduce play costs is crucial, and having Psychmon on the field has pretty much won me games many a time. So like the other day, so I don't know if you know this, you don't because I never said it, I topped at locals I topped in the pre-release tournament for the starter decks, the new starter decks, like the Ace ones, because mainly, well, a lot of it was because there was a lot of Crossheart and stuff, and I was playing 4 copies of Psychmon. So yeah, This is my other rookie slots for the deck. I don't play Tsukaimon for now. I might go back to it. I don't even play the other Falcomon because Retaliation on play is good, but it's not that great, and I only need the other Falcomon for like the inheritable hand destruction effect. So I don't know. I found it wasn't necessary, and yeah, this is the most consistent build. Like getting cards in trash and blocking, like floodgating those reduced play costs. That's what I've been prioritizing lately. But yeah, like I said, I might go on to the other Gabumon. We'll see, because that one also has like an on deletion inheritable draw one, trash one. But champions, Peckmon, because Peckmon plays out a Keenan. It's your typical like level 4 play out the tamer if you don't have the tamer. It also has the on deletion inheritable of trashing cards in your opponent's hand. And then the other Peckmon from BT13 is a blocker, and everybody loves blockers. Wait, let me get this set up here. So yeah, the Peckmons. This blocker, having 4 blockers in archetype is golden. It was something the deck really needed, I feel like. It's a small blocker because it's only a level 4, 5k, but it can save your life sometimes. So yeah, so the Peckmons across the board, 4 and 4, pretty good, pretty standard, staying on archetype. And I do play one more level 4. It is a hybrid. I did have LouistheRavenheart before, but I decided why not do Kaiser Leomon because it has 1k DP more, and it still digivolves on top of Keenan, or Purple Tamer, but in this deck it's Keenan for just 2. The when digivolving effect really doesn't matter for this deck, but yeah, 6k hybrid for game. You can also, if you want, digivolve this on top of one of your Peckmons for 1 if you want to, for some reason. I don't know. If you want an extra draw, maybe. Could be a tactical move. But yeah, 1 hybrid Kaiser Leomon. Then we have the level 5s, which across the board are, of course, the Chromons, who are amazing. So the EX04 one is kind of maybe more amazing. The other one's pretty great too, but this is pretty much honestly the crux of the deck, because like when you digivolve into Ravemon, it's mainly going to be the when attacking with Chromon effect. The inheritable is amazing too because it deletes an opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon, and this saved me so many times. So you have to have a purple tamer in play to digivolve to Ravemon as you attack with this one. And it's from your hand, which is more often the case. But the reason we want to load up the trash is so we can utilize this one, which doesn't need specifically a purple tamer. So you can use Spoiler's Analog Youth to get this one off, but it digivolves into a Ravemon in trash. And then the on deletion inheritable is play back a level 4 Digimon from your purple Digimon from your trash, aka a blocker Peckmon or something like that, or a Falcomon to search, something like that, or a Psychmon if that's stuck in your trash too. So yeah, very useful. Moving on to the level 6s themselves, the boss monsters of the deck. 4 copies of the EX4, EX4 Ravemon, who is the most important boss monster of the deck. This is the Ravemon for the Ravemon deck, because it's the one with the main effect where you like, it has jamming, and when you delete it, it's off by its own effects at the end of battle, or end of attack, then it will set off all those inheritables under it, and if your opponent goes under the hand threshold of 8, if they have 7 or less cards in their hand, they will add the top card of their security stack to their hand, which is basically how you win the game, is just keep making them take cards from their security stack, add it to your hand, and yeah. And then you pretty much after that need to find a way to just attack for game, which is the biggest challenge this deck kind of has, because it has trouble getting past big blockers and things like that. But there are ways around it, namely destroying your opponent's Digimon, getting those blockers out of the way, etc. And there are ways of doing that, but the name of the game for most of it is just like, who cares about attacking past big things? Just like pop Ravemon, get the cards out of your opponent's hand, make them pick up the top card of the security stack, and yeah. So this is the card. This is the guy. And you remember how happy I was to get the alt art from my box in EX4. Okay. And there is one more level 4 on the deck. It's the other Ravemon. This one is slightly less good, but it's still very useful because you don't even need to attack with it to get its effect off. You can just digivolve into it, and then end of turn, which, you know, often will be because this one digivolves for 4, which will often pass memory. You can pop it, get off all the delicious, juicy inheritable effects, and then play a Keenan or Falcomon from your trash or hand. So it is like a +1. It does replenish itself. Ravemon, of course, I forgot the most important part about Ravemon. This Ravemon and the other Ravemon, when they use their effect to delete themselves, they come back. They revive at the end of your opponent's turn. So no matter what, the Ravemons just kind of hide in the trash like a little ninja, that's kind of the theme, and then they just come back, and your opponent can't target them for anything. The one weakness is if they have an effect on the field that's like your opponent can't play Digimon by effects, like Pabumon from Bloomlord. There are floodgates that get around that, and that's kind of one of the weaknesses too. So you might want to get those off the field before Ravemon comes back. But otherwise, it's very untouchable in the trash while it's out of the way. This one has 12k DP. It doesn't have jamming though, so strength for tactics, trade-off kind of thing. But I do play two copies of this in the deck, which makes for a total of 6 Ravemon names. Although there are 2 more cards with Ravemon in its name, the 2 burst modes, which is, this is the real game-ending boss monster of the deck, because on Digivolution, it does kind of the same thing as the EX4 Ravemon, except you look at your opponent's hand, decide which card to trash in their hand, put it in the trash, and then if they have 7 or less cards in their hand, they take the top card of the security stack. So yeah, really good, and that's only on Digivolve, and burst Digivolving, of course, means returning a Keenan to your hand to Digivolve for free. So that's really good. That's why you want to have the Keenans on the field at all times, because they're really, really important. But you can also hard Digivolve for 5, which is not too bad. And then it won't de-Digivolve if you do that. It'll stay as burst mode. So it's kind of a trade-off, and you get value depending on what cost you pay. And then when attacking, you can depending on what card you pitch from their hand, you can actually send a card from the bottom of their trash or from their trash to the bottom of their deck to delete a Digimon of the same name on the field, which helps get rid of big cards on the field and attack past it. So that's some big removal. That's why Ravemon Burst Mode is so essential to this deck and is the true boss monster. Yeah. Okay, so moving on to those Tamers, which are a vital part of the deck. Right now I'm on 3 copies of the Memory Tamer Keenan Crier, who is from EX4. This is one of the most important key pieces of the deck because, other than setting your memory to 3 every turn, which 3 is kind of the key for Digivolving to Chromon and Digivolving to Ravemon, and then popping, things to get that memory back, because 3 is the exact cost for the main Ravemon from EX4. So, like, when you suspend this Tamer, when a Digimon with, a purple Digimon with Ravemon or Bird or Avian in its traits is deleted, you can suspend this Tamer. That's what suspending looks like, turning it sideways. You can suspend it to gain back a memory if it's by effect, or like outside of battle, I should say. Actually, it does say by effect. Yeah, by an effect. So not by DP reduction. This one is by effect. But you also, no matter what, when a Bird or Avian or Ravemon is deleted, you can draw a card by suspending that. But that's one of the key strategies of the deck, is to have Keenan on the field when you delete Ravemon by its own effect, and then you can suspend it to gain back a memory. This, combined with Pinamon and one more card that I'm about to show off, gives you back 3 memory. If you did have Tsukaimon, you would get 4, which is kind of why there's an argument for putting Tsukaimon in the deck, but 3 is the real key, and I like to focus on those other rookies I showed you. So yeah. But this, combined with the 2 other cards, gives you back the 3 memory and lets you extend your plays and go back to your own turn if you Digivolves exactly for 3 into Ravemon as you attack. So this is the most important Tamer, I would say. But there is another Keenan, and it's pretty good. Right now I'm on 2 copies of this. 2 copies. Love all these pre-release stamp cards in the deck, don't you? And box stoppers. But yeah. 2 copies of this Keenan, which has an on-play effect of your opponent can choose to discard a card that's a Tamer or an option. And if they do, they lose a card. And that's always good, because hand destruction. But if they don't, then you gain a memory and draw 1 card. So it's kind of like this, only for them discarding a card. Or not. But so it's like a +1 or a -1 either way, depending on how it goes and your opponent's choice in the matter. But and then also you can suspend this Tamer when an effect plays in a Digimon during your opponent's turn and gain a memory, which also works for your own Ravemon coming back from the trash, because your Ravemon comes back at the end of your opponent's turn. So this is definitely a combo piece that will give you back even more memory, which really doesn't matter if you have a memory tamer that will set you 3 anyway, but if you don't, then this will still give you the memory and push you into further into your own turn. So this Keenan's a little less important, but it's still a good piece to have, and having 5 Keenan names in the deck is really important. I was at 6, but I found it was a little too bricky. I was drawing Keenans when I need more Keenans. But I do have more Tamers in the deck, because Analog Youth here, which I will never have the alt art for because it's way too expensive, but Analog Youth here, it was basically made for this deck. Because like Keenan, when a Digimon with Source under it that's deleted, it's level 5 or higher, and that counts for battle too, in this case, you can suspend this card and gain a memory and hatch an egg, which lets you like even further speed up, your stacks. But on play, this, even more importantly, this acts as a searcher, a cheap searcher for only 2 cost. You can on play search for a Digimon from the top 3 cards of your deck and add it to your hand, and then trash the rest. So ideally, you'll add something you need in your hand and trash like a Ravemon. So maybe like add a Chromon to your hand and trash a Ravemon. Analog Youth is one of the most important cards in the deck. What can I say? I've thought about going to 4, but that would be a little too much. Plus, we have the Gabumons and Demi-Meramon. Okay, just a few more cards left. The options: Ame no Ohabari, which is a very important option. I've heard it described by some people at my locals as the gift that keeps on giving, because you delete your own Digimon to delete a Digimon on your opponent's field who's the same level or less. So you really want to do it with Ravemon, because Ravemon's your level 6, and you can delete an opponent's level 6. The main weakness with that is like stuff like Machine Dramon that has protection, but this will delete most things like that. And plus, when you use this to delete Ravemon, it will do the Ravemon effect of bringing Ravemon back from the trash at the end of your opponent's turn. So Ame no Ohabari is one of the best plays, the best removal in the deck, and it helps you get all your Ravemon effects off. And yeah, so if you can't battle, this is a great way to clear the board and get Ravemon's effects anyway. So yeah, 3 is the golden number for this, I feel like, because 4 is too many and less than 3 is too little. So yeah. Oh yeah, and I should also mention that another reason you might want 3 copies of this card, or a lot of them, is because this is one of the best cards to have in security, because if they attack into this, their Digimon with the lowest level gets deleted, and that can really save you. So yeah, yeah. 3 is the golden number for that. And then there's 2 more options left in the deck. It's just 2 purple memory boosts, top 4 search, add a purple Digimon to your hand, and then the delay effect is gain 2 memory. So I don't think I have to say much more about that. It's a staple in any deck, is the memory boost that goes with it. So, and this is also the really cool, epic looking alt art. Look at that glare. Yeah, that came in the new adventure box from RB1. So yeah, 2 copies seems to be all you need for this. But yeah, that's the whole deck. I love this deck. I love the alt arts in this deck, and Ravemon, the theme, the melancholy theme of deleting yourself to win the game, and then rising like a phoenix from the trash is just totally up my alley, and I love it. It's my favorite deck in any card game, and certainly in Digimon, and I love the whole evolution line. And yeah, I don't know if there's many changes. This seems to be the optimal build for this deck right now. With level 4s, I know it's kind of low on the level 4s because 9 is kind of a small number, but you need room for everything else. I might add the promo Saber Dramon to the deck whenever that comes out. It's also got red in it, so that might add some options to put some red tech cards in the deck. I don't know. Probably not going to do that, but it has Retaliation and Raid, which is a big deal. I used to run the old Saber Dramon, but you got to have room for those Pekmons and the hybrid for game, because this deck loves its tamers. So yeah, that's the Ravemon deck, and I'm going to keep using it because I believe it's the way, and it is my way. And yeah, I'm going to keep playing it. I hope it does get more support, but I'm glad it's not like super top tier deck, because otherwise it wouldn't be my own and my favorite unique deck. So I'm happy kind of where it's at right now, but I wouldn't mind it if it gets another like evolution line for Ravemon at some point. But yeah, that's all for now. I definitely want to do more deck profiles in the future for other decks that I like, because I enjoy doing this and I'm really into this game right now. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that, and I Look forward to seeing you in the next one. Peace.